It's a privilege to be here talking to you with such distinguished panel of speakers and such an audience. So thank you for being here, and thank you for attending this first Internet of Everything conference in the region. I would like to start with just pondering with one memory. If we go back to 2014, last year, many of us were still struggling to define what a smart city is. So we elaborated a lot of concepts, architectures, technologies, ideas. We put them together, and we had quite a bit of a good handle as to how a smart city would be, but not about what a smart city would be and what was the purpose of a smart city. Then, around the end of the year, came up a 140-character tweet from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid bin Al Maktoum, which simply clarified that the first objective of a smart city is really about the happiness of its people. It might sound simple, but come to think of it, it captures the essence of what a smart city is. And what we're going to do today is describe our perspective of a smart city and the role and the contribution that Qualcomm could make into this smart city. The mobile, as many of you know, is the biggest platform ever created by mankind. It sounds like a big statement, but think of it. There are more than 7 billion mobile connections in the world today. They are addressing more than 3.6 billion users. We are already covering half of the planet today with mobile connectivity. The revenues, the global revenues generated by mobile in 2013 were about $2 trillion. By 2020, they should reach about $3 trillion. Again, a big number. What does it mean? It means more than 5% overall of the GDP growth. When you think about the struggling economies today, 5% contribution to a GDP growth in the order of 5% is huge. So mobile today has redefined everything, has redefined the way we communicate, the way we interact, not only with the devices, but among ourselves, and is expanding in areas such as cars, such as video broadband, such as homes. We expect more than 70% of the traffic over wireless to be video by 2018. Midway between now and the 2021 milestone that was set by the vision of His Highness. We expect 60% of the new cars that are going to be shipped to be connected. And we expect more than 200 million homes to have smart appliances into them by then. We stand today at an inflection point. If we look back as to how we accessed the internet, we used to go to our PCs. We used to go to our PCs in order to access the internet. That was till about 2000 or so. Now we walk with the internet in our hand. Now the internet is with us. Tomorrow, not only will the internet be with us, but everything that is surrounding us will be communicating, interacting, adapting to what we do, and helping us achieve a better experience. 25 billion connected devices by 2020. 25 billion is more than 3 times the world population. How do we achieve that? Where are these 25 billion devices? Where are they going to be? Well, first, and we're starting to see them today, they're going to be on us. We have phones. We're starting to have fitness sensors, smartwatches. We're going to have head-mounted display. We're going to have basically body sensors that are going to keep us aware of our check, our fitness, and provide us with more information that are going to provide contextual information about us. But not only that, we're starting to see it also happening in the home. Today you have thermometers, you have locks, you have multiple devices that are into the home and into the offices that are starting to be smart, that interact with you either through your phone or by being aware of your presence. And tomorrow, we're going to see that space that is the home, that is the personal home and the business space expand to the whole city. And all of these spaces interconnect and interact with each other. The Internet of Everything is here and it is now. At the heart of the Internet of Everything is the user. We interact with the environment. We are the one who are to be happy. And for us to interact with our environment, we have devices. And the interesting thing about these devices is that, first of all, again, they're the biggest platform ever invented by mankind. So they have scale. They can scale to address the 25 billion connections that we need and connected objects that we will need by 2020. They are tightly integrated and optimized. They have the power of a PC, and they have additional functionality that the PC might not carry. They know your position. They know the direction you're looking at. They can sense if you're walking, if you're standing. They can capture a lot of information. They are completely optimized, packed for that. And also, they evolve quickly. It is not just an embedded device that is going to sit there for 20 years. Smart cities need to evolve quickly because users evolve quickly. Now, in order to do this, we have a lot of challenges. All of these objects need to really be able to address very, very difficult challenges, make trade-offs, technological trade-offs, the ability to have performance yet have low power, the ability to have a very high dense solution yet be low cost, the ability to be low latency so that you can react quickly and in real time to your environment, yet have the ability to have deep coverage into the houses, into the different spaces. They need to be also mission critical in the sense that we will come to rely on them the same way as we rely on these objects today. They cannot fail us from that perspective, and they need to be reliable. All of that set of complex and competing connectivity requirements basically can be addressed by the smartphones and by the smartphone technology that can be applied to end devices and access nodes and is already starting to be applied there. Now, beyond just the concept of the devices themselves, the devices are not just going to sit standalone and connect all together to a cloud. You won't be able to get all these camera feeds going into a cloud and be processed as quickly as we want to. You will need to have intelligence at the edge. You will need to have intelligence at the edge also for very simple, pragmatic reasons. You might want to have privacy. You want your device to be intelligent, but you don't want that data to be on Facebook. You might want your device to be basically reactive, but you don't want to be relying on a service that might be sitting somewhere else. So these devices are going to be connected to edge access nodes. And these access nodes are going to build the edge of the network. And that edge of the network is not going to replace the cloud. It is going to complement it. It is going to provide intelligence at the edge. And for that, we need all of the connectivity and the computing power, again, that we have into the solutions that exist today in smartphones. First and foremost, again, we need 25 billion connections. We need to be able to connect new things. We need to connect more of them. We need to connect more of the things on the people themselves. We need to connect more people. But not only that, connecting people is not enough. I only buy a service or use an application if it gets me something. And what it is going to get us is a better experience. How is that experience going to be better? It's going to be more intuitive, it's going to be more enjoyable, and it's going to be more valuable to us. Already today, many of us use Google Maps on their phones or another similar smartphone application to drive from one point to the other instead of the GPS that is in the car. Why? Because it's more reliable. And why is it more reliable? Because it provides up-to-date data on traffic. It can reroute you. Do you think still about how you're going to go somewhere? You put the direction and you let the service provide you with the information as to how to get there. So in order to achieve that vision of the Internet of Everything, what we really need is a continuum of things. We need connectivity. Connectivity is really the nervous system of a smart city. I like to say it's the DNA of the smart city. Without connectivity, without connected people and connected objects, you do not have a smart city, full stop. You need connectivity, but not only connectivity. Connectivity is an enabler. You need the ability for the devices to interact between each other and with the users. And you need these devices to behave intelligently, and for that you need computation power. Now this is what is needed at the devices level. But what you need as well is the interoperability between these devices. If we continue to reproduce silo experiences where we can get connectivity in an island, be it one service or one industry, and not be able to spread it across or pass the data for others to come up with innovative solutions. If there is no interoperability between these devices, then we will not achieve a smart city environment. We need the security for these devices because they are going to become more and more reliable and important for us. Without that security, we will feel exposed. And we need the services that will drive these experiences, both at the cloud level, the same way as we have it with traffic management today, and at the device level, the same way as interfaces can adapt now to the knowledge of what you're doing, the way you're walking, the time of the day, to provide you with information in a different way, to provide you with something that is more convenient and more adapted to you. To enable these more intuitive experiences, we need the devices to be able to achieve three things. Perception, the ability to hear, the ability to see, the ability to sense what you're doing, where you are, etc. All of these things that we have in smartphones will need to be into these wearables and connected objects. We need the ability for these devices to infer from the context, from your habits, what it is that you are really looking for. And we need them to be able to act on your behalf and act for you as well, in a natural way. Again, from an interoperability perspective, the devices that will not be interoperable will not survive in a smart city environment. If they cannot achieve the interoperability that is required, then these devices will not be of value in a smart city environment. So you need the ability to provide a framework for these devices to discover each other, to basically provide information about themselves, to be able to access other appliances on other networks, to be able to talk to each other and also manage the way you communicate. You walk into that space, right? And you might want the light setting to change. And essentially, the devices need to know that you have walked in. It needs to know that you are here. It needs to know that you have the capability to control them. All of that knowledge needs to be provided into a software framework. And that software framework needs to be interoperable across devices. Today, we have it in verticals. We have light bulbs that we can control. We have thermostats that we can control. But we don't have yet a holistic, seamless experience of all of these devices interacting in a way that we consider intelligent. Now, the interesting thing is, there is a protocol that we started originally for peer-to-peer communication. It was more for human and device, that we then gave away as open source to the Linux Foundation, and they are maintaining it under the All-Scene Alliance, that is growing into becoming an alliance standard for the Internet of Everything. And what's interesting about an alliance standard is that it is being adopted by the very people who build these objects. These objects are not expensive smartphones. These objects are light bulbs. You buy them for a cheaper price. They have a bill of material. They need to be able to integrate that functionality into the light bulbs and see for themselves a business model that is sustainable. And it's only once you have all of these participants into a consortium that you can have a tangible framework, a tangible interoperability standard that can work. And the nice thing about it is that they've already come up with more than 75 projects and devices that are out there today adopting this standard. Now let's talk about cities. Today, 50% of the world population lives in a city. By 2050, 70% of the world population will be in cities. 50% of the world population in cities means that we are consuming 75% of the produced energy. What will it be once we are going to reach 70% of the world population? Our carbon footprint, in terms of carbon emitted by the cities, is already 80% of the total carbon emitted in the world. So, how are we going to achieve better cities? Smart cities are cities where all of these objects are not only interconnected with each other, but also connected to you. They adapt to you. They teach you things. They give you information that you need when you need it. And you don't have to go look for things or learn things. It will adapt to you instead of you adapting to it. Case in point, New York City. That's quite a fairly old city. Has a lot of payphones. Payphones, if some of you remember, you used to put a coin or a card and basically place a call. It's a single function, single purpose device. They are now taking these single purpose payphones and replacing them with multi-purpose links. So they're going to take about 7,500 of these public payphones and replace them with about 10,000 of these links. Now, what are the links? They are basically devices that come in a couple of modular flavors, with or without display, that provide free public Wi-Fi, that provide access to communication, wireless communication over the network with free nationwide call, that enable emergency services, city services, displays, and allow you to charge your device. The interesting thing about these devices also is that they constitute an open platform. The same way as the smartphone has gone to grow beyond just placing a call or writing an SMS into carrying all of these applications that you use today. The city is a platform for services. And in order to deliver these services, you need appliances such as these information kiosks that will allow businesses, local businesses, to build services that are for the local community, that will allow them to advertise their solution and also provide data that can be used by others so that they can detect, identify, and grasp opportunities to deliver you better services. Also, it will enhance the access to the internet for many citizens who might have limited connectivity. For schools, it will have public libraries, and it will also provide road safety functionality through vehicle-to-vehicle detection or vehicle-to-pedestrian detection. The interesting thing is, this is what New York did. It did it not, it's not Qualcomm who did it. Qualcomm is one partner in a private-public joint venture with the City of New York and other partners, where each one of the partners brings a part of the solution. And this is a very important dimension because there is no one company that can provide you with all of the solution in a turnkey for a smart city environment. They can provide you with a service in a given space, but they cannot provide it for you at a smart city level. You need a collaboration space where all of these people can work together and come up with a solution. And the interesting thing is that we've started a similar initiative here in Dubai. It is basically being started by Dubai Internet City and Qualcomm. It's hosted at In5, and it's called The Assembly. It is a smart lab, it is a maker lab, it is a place to build smart things. So this is a place where people are going to invent connectivity, intelligence, and interoperability solutions, because there is no one-size-fits-all type of solution. They're going to collaborate together. They are going to basically be accelerated by the partners who are in the environment. And basically, it is open to all. We are just a founding member. We invite everybody from the industry, from the telecom operators, from the government services, from the universities, and from the individuals and startups to join the assembly and get collaborative experiences where they can build solutions for all. Today, the assembly is reaching out by organizing this weekend the DIC Decode Dubai hackathon that will build a smart city app. The 5 finalists will be basically going to Barcelona later this year, be competing in the world final competition for that smart city. We've also started collaborating with basically the innovation group is the Mohammed bin Rashid Innovation Center on their prototype competition that was announced yesterday. We accelerate the knowledge of developers by providing them with platforms, with workshops, with knowledge across again, service providers and content providers and solution providers so that they can build solution. And we help them commercialize. And we have a couple of projects. I'm going to go fast here because I know I'm a bit late. So on the we have a smart community kiosk solution, information solution that is being built right now. And Dashroad, which is a vehicle solution that is being built at the assembly, both of them. So if we focus on the smart community kiosk, it will recognize whether your gender, whether you're male and female, adapt the content and the signage to it, provide you with services and information directory. It will have the ability also to scan your Emirate ID and be kind of a fast track to your typical concierge. And last but not least, it will measure in real time the happiness index of the people using it. So it's not just about thinking and guessing what smart is, it's about measuring what smart is in the happiness of the users.